It's just stupid, and it becomes totally insane. My two god kids are half black, half white. Everybody's mixed. It's the dumbest crap in the world.
Dean, you said it's you feel like the pendulum is starting to swing back, and I've talked about this multiple times on the show. I feel like ultimately it was my generation's fault that a lot of this stuff has happened. You know, I'm 42 years old, and the reason I say that is because when we grew up, hearing the word racist, homophobe, bigot, they meant something. If somebody said, "Hey, that guy's a racist," you go, "No, I don't want anything to do with that guy," right? So when my generation gets put in middle management at some sort of, comic book company or whatever, and somebody comes at them and they say, "Hey, well, that person," or you don't want, they use those words. You don't want to be homophobic. You don't want to be racist, transphobic, whatever. These people went, whoa, 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 whoa. These people might, whoa, that you're right. We don't want that, right? And so actions were made because they were more or less scared of those words. They didn't want to be labeled those words. And over time, they realized it was just, that's really what it was. Those words, there's no action behind the words but people were scared of these labels. And over time, these words have been diluted to absolutely almost nothing. Because as you said, you've been called all these things, and I've been called all these things. Blab's been called these Flash, Gabe. I'm sure everybody's been called all these things. And it's like, actions speak louder than words at a certain point, so.
I think my favorite moment in the false accusation of being a bigot was about 2 years ago. We had the recall election for Gavin Newsom, slimeball California governor, and Larry Elder was running to take him out. And the LA Times, I think, wrote an article saying Larry Elder, who, if you don't know, if you've never seen him, he's a black gentleman. They said he was the black face of white supremacy. To me, that was the zenith of this nonsense name calling, and it's all downhill for leftists from there. It was like, okay, you're not serious, people. This is over. He's not the black face. How that, that's just ridiculous on his face. So we had fun with that. That was completely ridiculous.
It's insane, but they still do it all today. Larry's awesome.
Look at that white devil.
Larry's a great friend of mine, and he's the white devil. He, in fact, when he got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I was one of his two speakers. So great friend of mine, great guy. I'm glad he ran for governor. They were trying to get me to run for governor opposite Gavin Newsom, and I considered it. But as it is, Gavin Newsom basically drove me out of California. I live in Henderson, Nevada, as of 8 months ago, and I'm happy as a clam because the horrible policies are horrible policies, and that's what he's doing. And but they went crazy with that stuff. I've been called a Nazi. I'm somebody who's like, I'm the honorary president of a foundation called From the Depths, which really honors the non-Jews who harbored Jews in Poland and elsewhere in Europe during World War II. I visited Auschwitz and with my son and taught him all about the evils of Nazism and about not accepting people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and about vilifying somebody for their beliefs or their race or their gender. I've played gay back in films when it was not cool to do so. It was like, oh my God, how terrifying. In the early 2000s, they're like, everyone's going to think you're gay. And I said, then I did my job. I've played every kind of character. I played racist characters. I played this, I played that. If you know my friends, it's like the UN. We've just got everybody. Gabe's half Mexican, half Lebanese. He's all confused. My given name is Tanaka. I'm Japanese. I'm quarter Japanese. My given name is Tanaka. When my mom remarried to my father, I became Cain. I played in the NFL. I mean, most of my friends are black. It's not even a thought process. So it's my buddy on the people are like, Dean Cain, what a racist, blah, blah, blah. My best friend's black. He's like, yo, you guys are giving me news. Thanks for that. It's good to know. But that stuff is just stupid. It's just stupid, and it becomes totally insane. My two god kids are half black, half white. Everybody's mixed. It's the dumbest crap in the world, and all this virtue signaling stuff that's going on, and all this race baiting and crap that goes on. I think there are people who are race hustlers out there. There are people who are transphobe hustlers out there. Whatever. They're just looking to label you and create looking at Al Sharpton or Attorney Benjamin Crump. These people are literal race baiters. They are disgusting to me. And I hate what they stand for and what they're pushing. And I hope that sort of a cancer sort of disappears from our society because it's a joke.
Right. And can I expand on your football thing there? All this racism and bigotry, again, this is why masculinity and fathers is so important. When you're raised in the masculine culture, whether it be football, military, any masculine pursuit, they're about meritocracy. So growing up in Southern California where I live, it's very mixed. My best friend growing up, Filipino guy, but I never cared. Like, we're friends because we're friends. We lived on the street. We played football together. But when you're on the football team, it's all about meritocracy. You don't care what race anyone is, and that's how masculine cultures work. So I do think when we get back to this father-led culture, because people like smash the patriarchy. Patriarchy does not mean rule by men. It means rule by fathers. I'm like, you want to smash the patriarchy, the one that created refrigeration and surgery and space exploration and all the good things you seem to enjoy every day. You want to smash that patriarchy, huh? It's like, you're not going to like that if you take that away. But I do think a lot of the bigotry they think they see, well, it tends to go away when you have these masculine systems of meritocracy. Because I didn't ask Dean, hey, you want to work on a book together, but you're not over a quarter Japanese, right? Because I always promised myself I would never work with anyone who was a bad driver. So I could tolerate a quarter Japanese, but if you're half, we're going to have to talk. No, I don't care. I don't care at all. If you look at my friends, like Dean said, it's like the United Nations. I'm working with one of my co-hosts on YouTube. He's a black guy. Again, my best friend's Filipino. My wife is Mexican. I'm Libyan and Mexican. Like, I don't care. I just care if you're an honest, decent person. That's it. So
it's almost like that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's funny you mentioned that, Gabe. You're talking about like stepping away, and that's been a reoccurring theme from people who have either been canceled or they've stepped away from a position, specifically in the gaming space where we're at, where these people they've been canceled, they've been removed from their careers, or they've stepped away, and there's a lot of fear associated with that happening, where their life is crumbling and it lasts a week or so. But if you fast forward a year, and to a T, every single one of them is in a better place than where they were before. It's insane. And if more people would stand up and push back against the system or push against their narrative, it's amazing how much happier they would be.
I'll say this:
it takes that strength and courage, though, and a lot of people lose it.
And again, we learned that from our dads and our football coaches in that masculine culture we were brought up in. It's like, I'm not going to stand here and do evil with you guys. Like, no, I'm not doing that. This horrible new Superman. You do that shit, do that stuff yourself. So sorry, got a little passionate there.
No, love it.
But
how did that? Hey, Gabe, how did that Superman comic do?
Oh, it got canceled in less than a year. So turns out people didn't like it.
Not canceled. It just didn't.
A soft reset into a mini series.
Right.
Did they?
But that's a great point, because it shows that this doesn't work, because that comic got all the headlines. Every big site was like, "Oh, this is so fantastic." So much free publicity from that, and it fell off the charts. So they got one issue where everyone ran out and got it, and then it fell off a cliff. That stuff doesn't work. Comic book fans don't want that.
Right.
And you would think they would have got this figured out by now, but
it didn't even get the sales on the first issue. Traditionally gets the big sales. That didn't get the sales. The fifth issue, when I left, that's the one that got the sales. I remember they had to go to like a second or third printing. It only got the sales because I was like global news mocking them, and just imagine you're going to a restaurant and the chef is standing in the front door of the restaurant saying, "Do not come in here." That's basically what I did to DC Comics. I'm like, "Do not buy this. This is garbage. I'm out of here. See you guys later." So, I'm proud of that. I did humiliate them, and my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner and harder.